The box that should never be opened. The sky above the alien planet was dark purple, filled with slow-moving clouds and no sun. The wind whispered through the tall blue grass, and dust blew over the broken ruins. Jace Walker stood at the edge of a deep hole in the ground. He had found it by accident while searching for old tech and metal to sell. He was a young scavenger, just 22, with short brown hair and a backpack full of tools. He worked alone, always alone. He looked down into the hole. Strange lights glowed faintly below, green and white. Alien ruins, untouched, maybe even forbidden. This is it, Jace whispered to himself. This could be the big one. He climbed down slowly, using a rope. The air inside the ruin was cold and heavy. It smelled like metal and old stone. The walls were covered in glowing lines, alien writing, maybe thousands of years old. Jace turned on his scanner. It beeped once, then stopped. No signal, he muttered. Good, nobody else is here. He moved deeper into the ruins. Each step echoed around him. He passed broken machines, cracked walls, and shattered statues. Then, deep in the center, he saw it. A giant metal box. It was about the size of a coffin, standing upright against the wall. Silver and black, with sharp edges and glowing symbols. One big symbol in red was carved across the front. Jace stepped closer. He brushed off the dust and read the message on the surface. Do not break the seal. She remembers. He frowned. She? Who's she? His heart started to beat faster. He knew better. When alien tech had warnings on it, it was usually for a good reason. But Jace was curious and desperate. He needed something big to sell, something rare. What if there's a power core inside? He said to himself, maybe even a full AI system could be worth millions. He pulled out his tools and started working on the seal. The box hissed. Steam came out from the edges. The lights blinked red, then blue, then green. Jace stepped back. The box clicked, then slowly opened with a loud groan. Inside was not a power core, not a machine. It was a girl. An alien girl. She floated in the air for a second, then dropped forward into his arms. Jace caught her, shocked. Her skin was pale, almost glowing white. Her hair was silver, long and soft like silk. She wore strange clothing, light armor with pieces of glass or crystal. Around her wrists and ankles were broken metal cuffs. She wasn't moving. Hey, are you okay? Jace said, shaking her gently. Her eyes opened. They were bright violet, like stars. She stared at him. Then, slowly, she whispered, You opened it. Her voice was soft and weak, but clear. Then, I am yours now. Jace blinked. What? Wait, no, hold on. What do you mean yours? The girl reached up and touched his face, just for a second. Her fingers were cold. You broke the seal, she said again, almost like she was dreaming. You called me back. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed through the ruins. A deep mechanical hum. Jace turned around. Lights on the walls were flashing red now. Someone, or something, had been alerted. Oh no, Jace muttered. What did I just wake up? The girl stood slowly, weak but trying to move. They're coming, she said. They know I'm awake. Who's coming? Jace asked, grabbing his pack and helping her stand. What is this place? There's no time, she said. You must protect me. Protect you? I don't even know you. She looked into his eyes. You will. A deep roar shook the ruin. The ground trembled. Jace grabbed her hand. Okay, let's move. We'll figure out the rest later. They ran down the hall, lights flashing red behind them. Doors were closing. Machines were waking up. As they escaped into the shadows, the box stood open behind them, empty now, but no longer silent. Something ancient had awakened. The girl who remembers too much. The jungle was alive with strange sounds, hissing trees, glowing bugs, and animals that watched from the shadows. Jace pushed through thick vines, guiding the alien girl beside him. She moved slowly, her legs weak, her breath short. The ruin was far behind now, but danger still followed. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't even know what just happened. But one thing was clear. He had opened something he never should have. The girl walked beside him quietly. Her long silver hair was wet from sweat and mist. Her bare feet stepped carefully over the roots and rocks. Finally, they reached a small cave in the side of a cliff. Jace had hidden supplies there weeks ago. Old habit. Scavengers learned to hide food and gear in case of trouble. "We'll rest here," he said, pulling her gently into the shade. "You can sit." She looked at him with calm, shining eyes. "You speak gently," she said. Jace blinked. Thanks, I guess. What's your name?" She looked down. Her fingers touched the broken cuff on her wrist. "They called me many names, but I think my name is Syra." "Syra," Jace repeated. "Okay, I'm Jace." They sat in silence for a moment. Jace pulled out a water bottle and handed it to her. She drank slowly, like someone who hadn't tasted water in a long time. "You were sealed in that box. For how long?" he asked. She closed her eyes. "I don't know. Time feels broken. But I remember the stars looked different when I last saw them. So, centuries. Maybe more." She nodded. "Maybe." Jace couldn't believe it. This girl wasn't just alien. She was ancient. "Why were you sealed?" he asked. Syra didn't answer right away. Her hands trembled slightly. "I knew things I wasn't supposed to know," she whispered. "I remembered things they wanted erased." "Who's they?" "My people," she said. "The elders. The ones who feared memory. They called it a disease." Jace frowned. "Why?" "Because memories make you question orders. Memories make you feel. And feelings can break control." Her voice was soft, but strong now. "They erased minds," she continued. "They turned soldiers into tools. And me, I was a mistake." "What did you do?" Jace asked, leaning closer. "I fell in love." Those 3 words hung in the air like thunder. Jace stared. "You fell in love?" Syra nodded. "With a human. Long ago. He was kind. Brave. He taught me laughter and freedom. But our love was forbidden. They said I was broken. They erased him from history. And they sealed me away." Jace felt something heavy in his chest. "I'm sorry." She looked at him carefully. "You remind me of him." "Me?" Jace shook his head. "I'm just a scrapper. A guy who sells old junk for fuel money." "No," she said softly. "Your eyes. Your voice. Even the way you helped me without asking. It's the same." Syra reached out and touched his chest, just above his heart. "You feel like home," she said. Jace didn't know what to say. He felt warm and nervous at the same time. Just then, the ground shook slightly. A deep hum buzzed through the trees. Syra's face changed. "They're tracking me." The box had a mark. "They know it's open." Jace grabbed his gear. "Then we move." But Syra didn't move. Her legs shook. She fell forward. He caught her before she hit the ground. "You're weak," he said. "What's wrong?" "They sealed my powers with a memory lock. Every time I remember something true, it hurts me." Jace looked around. They couldn't keep running like this. He made a decision. "We're going to the cliffs," he said. "There's a signal station there. I can call my ship." Syra looked up. "You have a ship." "Small one, but fast." He picked her up carefully. She was light as air, but her head rested against his chest, like she trusted him completely. As they moved through the jungle, Syra whispered softly, "They will not stop. They fear me because I remember love, because I remember pain. Then let them fear, Jace said. You're not alone anymore. A loud screech echoed behind them. Metal wings cut through the sky. Hunter drones. They had found her. Jace started running, holding her tightly. Branches snapped. Leaves flew. Laser sights danced across the trees. Syrah opened her eyes. They glowed with a soft violet light. Put me down, she said. What? No. I can help, but I need your voice. My voice. Say my name. He looked into her eyes and said it. Syrah. Something unlocked in her. Energy rushed through her body. Her hands lit with pale fire. A blast of power shot from her palms, tearing through the jungle. Drones fell, smoking and broken. But Syrah collapsed again. Jace held her tightly, heart pounding. You okay? She smiled faintly. You said my name, and it gave me strength. The jungle went quiet again. They were alive. For now, a bond written in stars. The sun was rising slowly over the hills of the alien jungle, casting long shadows across the thick leaves. Jace stood at the edge of a cliff, breathing hard. His arms were tired from carrying Syrah all night, but he didn't care. She was still alive. She lay beside him on a soft patch of moss, her eyes closed, her silver hair glowing faintly in the morning light. She looked peaceful, like someone caught in a dream. But Jace knew better. Inside her, something powerful was waking up, and something dangerous was chasing them. He sat down next to her, opened his old datapad, and checked the signal tower nearby, only 2 kilometers away. If they reached it, he could call his ship. They'd be safe. Maybe. He turned to Syrah. Hey, can you hear me? Her eyes fluttered open slowly. Her voice was quiet. You didn't leave me. Of course not, Jace said. Most would have run. Yeah. Well, I'm not most people. A soft smile touched her lips. She looked up at the sky. This world feels different, like it forgot who I was. Jace nodded. A lot changes in 1,000 years. Her smile faded, but not everything. Not all bonds break. Jace raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? She sat up slowly, her fingers brushing the moss. Last night, when you said my name, it unlocked something inside me. I remembered more. More of what? His voice, she said, staring into the distance. The one I loved. He made a promise, under stars just like these. Jace felt something strange stir in his chest. He said, no matter how long it takes, I'll find you again. She looked at him, eyes glowing soft violet. When you held me, when you said my name, it felt like that promise. Jace blinked. Are you saying you think I'm him? I don't know, she whispered, but my heart reacts to yours, like it remembers. Jace laughed nervously. That's crazy. But something inside him didn't laugh. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a small object, an old metal chip the size of a coin. He'd found it back in the ruins, near the box. He never looked at it closely before. Maybe this can tell us something, he said, pressing a button. A small hologram flickered to life above the chip. A man's face appeared, young, dark-haired, with kind eyes. He was human, wearing an old explorer's suit. Log entry 1, the man's voice said. My name is Commander Ethan Walker. Mission status. Failed. But if anyone finds this, know that I loved her. I will always love her. And if somehow I don't make it, I hope my blood remembers. The hologram faded. Jace stared at the chip, heart racing. Walker. Ethan Walker. That's my dad's name, Jace whispered. But I never knew him. He died before I was born. Syrah was frozen. His voice. That was him. I'd know it anywhere. Jace dropped the chip. You knew my father. He was the one who opened my heart, she said softly. And now his son has opened the seal. Jace stood, confused and shaking. This can't be real. But Syrah stood too, her hands glowing faintly again. Jace, this is fate. The bond isn't just between me and your father. It lives on in you. Suddenly, a sharp sound cut through the air. A laser blast hit the tree near them. It exploded in fire and sparks. Get down, Jace shouted, grabbing Syrah and pulling her to cover. Black-armored alien soldiers were moving through the trees. Trackers. They wore masks, and their eyes glowed blue. Their weapons were humming. They found us, Jace said. Syrah stood up, her hands still glowing. I'll stop them. You're too weak. Say my name. He grabbed her hand and said it. Syrah. A bright light exploded from her chest. Energy poured from her fingers. She stepped forward, raising her arms. A blast of violet fire roared across the jungle, throwing the soldiers back. But then, her legs buckled. She fell. Jace caught her again. You can't keep doing this. She looked into his eyes. I'm not afraid. Not if I'm with you. Behind them, more soldiers arrived. Enemies in the shadows. The old drop platform rumbled as it lowered deep into the earth. Rusted alien metal creaked under Jace's boots, and glowing blue vines crawled across the walls like veins of light. Everything here felt ancient and alive. Syrah stood beside him, her eyes calm but distant, her silver hair swaying gently in the moving air. She didn't speak, but Jace could tell. Her memories were returning faster now. Where does this lead? Jace asked. Below the surface, Syrah replied. To the place they built to forget me. You've been here before. She nodded slowly. They called it the Hollow Vault, a grave for minds too dangerous to exist. Jace gave a short, dry laugh. Great, just the kind of place I wanted to visit. The lift stopped with a soft clang. A huge metal door stood before them, covered in faded alien symbols. Strange writing glowed softly under Jace's flashlight. Can you read it? He asked. Syrah stepped forward and ran her hand over the letters. Truth waits here. Memory breathes. Danger follows. Perfect, Jace muttered. He reached for the control panel, but Syrah placed her hand on it first. The door reacted to her touch, groaning open slowly, revealing a dark tunnel beyond. As they stepped inside, lights flickered on, one by one. The hallway stretched far, lined with glass chambers, each one holding something. Jace stopped cold. Inside each chamber was a person, alien, human, or something in between, asleep, frozen, sealed away. What is this place? He asked. Syrah's voice was almost a whisper. These are the forgotten. Like me, they remembered things their leaders wanted erased. Jace felt a chill. So they didn't kill them. They just locked them up. Their bodies rest. Their minds dream endlessly. Syrah said, It's the only kind of prison that lasts forever. As they walked past the chambers, Syrah paused in front of one. Inside was a young woman with crystal tears frozen on her cheeks. Syrah placed a hand on the glass. She was my sister. Jace looked at her. I'm sorry. She tried to help me escape. They caught her. Sealed her too. There was pain in her voice, but no anger, just quiet heartbreak. I'll get you out one day, she whispered to her sister. Just hold on. Suddenly, a sharp beep echoed through the hall. Jace checked his scanner. Incoming heat signature. Someone's here. They rushed forward, deeper into the vault, until they reached a round chamber filled with a pale blue glow. At the center was a large console. It looked like an ancient control system, broken but still alive. Syrah placed her hand on the controls. Her eyes flashed. This can show us who's tracking us, she said. Holograms flickered into the air. A fleet, 10 ships, marked with the black sigil of the Fought Guard. Jace cursed under his breath. Those are memory hunters. Yes, Syrah said. They're already in orbit. We need to move. But before they could turn, A voice echoed through the chamber. "You're not going anywhere." Jace spun, raising his plasma cutter. A man stepped out of the shadows, tall, human, wearing a scavenger jacket just like Jace's. His beard was rough, his face lined with age, and in his hand was a weapon. "Rain," Jace said, stunned. "Hello, kid." Rain had once been Jace's mentor. He taught him how to find ruins, how to survive. Jace hadn't seen him in over a year. You're working with them?" Jace asked. Rain nodded. "They made me an offer. Information, tech, power. All I had to do was watch for one girl. And call them when she woke up. You sold her out." "Wake up, kid," Rain growled. "She's dangerous. She's a walking time bomb. You think she loves you. You're just a key to a locked door. When that door opens, we're all dead." Jace stepped in front of Syrah. "Then maybe we need what's behind that door." "Don't be stupid," Rain warned. "Step aside." Jace didn't move. Syrah stepped forward. "You fear me because you can't control me." "I fear you," Rain said, raising his weapon, "because I remember what happened the last time you were free." He fired. A blue bolt shot across the room, but Syrah raised her hand, and the energy froze in midair. It spun for a moment, then vanished. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever. "You remember the past, but I remember the truth." With a wave of her hand, energy lifted Rain off the ground and pinned him to the wall. "I don't want to hurt you," she said, "but I won't let you hurt him." Jace rushed to the console. "I can disable the signal. If we break the tracker, the ships won't find us." He opened the panel, cutting wires and bypassing systems. The screen flickered, then went dark. "Done." Syrah let Rain fall. He collapsed, groaning. "Come on," Jace said. "Let's go, before more come." They left Rain behind, unconscious on the floor, and climbed through a side tunnel that led to an old transport pad. It was barely working, but it lit up when Syrah touched it. As they stepped onto the glowing circle, Jace turned to her. "You okay?" She nodded. "You protected me." "You protect me too," Jace said with a soft smile. "We make a good team." As the platform rose, carrying them back toward the surface, Syrah leaned against him, her head on his shoulder. "They tried to make me forget," she whispered, "but they couldn't erase hope." "You have me now," Jace said, "and I'm not going anywhere." But far above, in the sky, the Thoughtguard fleet had already started to descend. The truth behind the seal. The air was colder now. As the old transport platform rose through the hidden shaft, Jace held Syrah close. Her body was weak again, but her spirit, her will was unbroken. Outside, the alien sky was fading from purple to blue as dawn approached. The jungle above was quiet, too quiet. When they reached the surface, Jace pulled his old rifle from his back and scanned the area. No soldiers, no drones, not yet. They stepped out into a field of tall silver grass, glowing softly under the morning light. Jace tapped his comlink. Static, still no signal. "We need to get higher," he said. "I know a place." They climbed a hill, steep, rocky, and half covered in moss. Syrah moved slowly, but Jace helped her every step. When they reached the top, he opened a small metal case hidden in the rocks. Inside was an old solar-powered transmitter. He flipped the switch. The screen blinked. His signal restored. A small smile touched his face. "I can reach my ship now." Syrah sat beside him on the rock, staring at the sky. "Do you know why I was sealed, Jace? Not just because I loved your father, but something bigger." He looked at her. "I want to know everything." She placed a hand over her heart. "There's something inside me," she said. "Something that shouldn't exist. It's not a weapon, but it's more powerful than any bomb." Jace frowned. "What is it?" "A memory code. Hidden inside my soul. My people didn't just erase history, they stored it. And they stored it in me." Jace's eyes widened. What kind of memory? Syra's voice trembled. The truth of the First War. The reason the great alien empires collapsed. The reason my people built mind prisons. She looked at him. They discovered a signal. Something buried deep in the universe. A whisper that changed people when they heard it. It made them question everything. It made them feel love, grief, fear, freedom. A signal, Jace asked. Like sound. A message. From something older than the stars. Not a god, not a machine. Something else. They called it the Origin Echo. And they feared it so much. They tried to destroy it. But you remembered it. Not just remembered. I became the carrier. She touched her chest again. It's written inside me. The echo. The knowledge. The spark. Jace was silent. It was too big, too strange, too real. If they kill me, Syra continued, the echo dies forever. But if they control me, they can erase it from others. Rewrite the past. And the future. Jace shook his head. You're not a weapon. You're a person. Syra looked down. Sometimes. I forget that. Suddenly, a loud beep sounded from the transmitter. Incoming NESSAG. Jace opened the channel. A voice came through. Rough, urgent. This is Captain Lyra of the Odessa. Jace Walker, we received your signal. Your ship is prepped for auto-landing. 20 minutes. Stay where you are. Lyra, Jace said. You're alive. Barely, but we tracked a massive fleet above you. You've got company. Jace looked at Syra. We've got to move fast. But before he could turn off the device, another voice cut in. Cold. Sharp. Alien. Jace Walker. We know where you are. Surrender the memory host, or be erased. The screen cracked. The device sparked. They were listening. Syra stood slowly. They're close, and they won't wait. Jace grabbed his gear. Let's go. They ran through the high grass, dodging trees and sliding down rocky slopes. In the distance, they saw the faint light of a ship breaking the clouds. But so were the enemy. Black shades dropped from the sky. ThoughtGuard assault pods. Syra grabbed his arm. They'll reach the ship first. Jace stopped. Then we don't go to the ship. What? He turned to her. There's another way. But it's risky. Show me. They ran toward a dry canyon. Sharp cliffs, red rocks, and old ruins carved into the sides. Jace remembered this place. It used to be a sacred temple, until it was buried during a planetquake. Inside the temple was an ancient core, a place said to hold fragments of lost voices. Syra stopped as they reached the cracked stone doorway. This place. I know this place. Then maybe it knows you too. They stepped inside. The walls shimmered with light. Voices whispered around them, not in words, but in feelings. Warmth, grief, love. Syra touched the wall and gasped. This is a memory vault. Suddenly, the air shifted. A projection appeared. An old alien woman, tall and regal. If you've returned here, Syra, it means you're awake, and they're afraid. Jace stepped back. Is that your mother? Syra nodded. She helped me hide the echo here, in case I forgot, in case they wiped me. The memory spoke again. The echo is not a weapon. It is a mirror, and those who fear what they see in it will do anything to shatter it. Remember this. Love is not weakness. Memory is not danger. It is hope. The memory faded. And behind it, a door opened. Inside was a glowing crystal throne, and on it, a sphere of light, soft, pulsing, alive. This is the core of the echo, Syra said. It's calling to me. Jace held her hand. What happens if you take it? I become what they feared most. And if you don't, then they win. She looked at him. I need your voice again. Jace stepped closer. Syra. She reached out and touched the light. Energy flowed into her, her eyes filled with stars. Her voice echoed through the chamber. I remember now. I remember everything. And outside, the ground shook. Because something ancient had just awakened, and it had chosen her. The choice that changed everything. The crystal light poured into Sarah's body like liquid fire. Jace watched, frozen in awe, as her skin glowed brighter, her hair floated like silver flames, and her feet lifted slowly off the ground. The whole chamber filled with a low hum, a sound that felt like it was coming from deep inside the earth, and deeper still from within her. She wasn't just glowing now, she was becoming. Then the hum stopped, and Sarah collapsed to her knees. Jace rushed forward and caught her before she hit the stone floor. Her breathing was fast. Her hands shook, but her eyes, when she opened them, were no longer just violet. They were full of stars. What happened? Jace asked, holding her gently. Sarah looked at her hands, her voice almost trembling. I touched the echo. Now it's a part of me again. No, not just a part. It is me. She stood slowly, unsteady on her feet. I feel everyone. The past, the pain, the love, the fear. Everything they locked away is alive inside me. Jace helped her to the throne to sit. Can you control it? He asked. I don't know, she said, but now I understand why they sealed me, why they feared me. The echo can change hearts. It can wake people up. That sounds like a good thing. Not to them, Sarah said. To rulers who depend on silence and obedience, truth is a disease. She looked at him carefully. And now, they'll come with everything. Outside the temple, the sky was rumbling. Dark ships moved through the clouds like hungry shadows. Dropships landed in the jungle. Walkers stomped across the plains. The full force of the Thoughtguard fleet had arrived. They're going to surround us, Jace said. This whole planet will be locked down in minutes. Sarah stood again, taller now, calmer. Something in her posture had changed. She looked stronger, wiser, like a queen from long ago. They're not coming for you, she said. They're coming for me. We can still escape, Jace said. My ship's not far. We run. No, she said softly. I can't run anymore. Jace stepped in front of her. Then what? Fight them all. You'll die. Maybe, she said. Or maybe. I wake them up. Jace's face tightened. You mean use the echo? Yes. But what will it do? Sarah paused. Then she said the words that broke him. It might kill me. Jace's heart dropped. No, no way. There has to be another path. If I give myself to them, she said, they'll erase me. Again. Quietly. Without fire or war. But if I use the echo, maybe they'll remember. Maybe they'll feel again. But if you die, Jace. She stepped close, her hand resting over his heart. You gave me your voice. You gave me your strength. You made me remember who I was. But now, I need to choose who I want to be. And who is that? Sarah smiled sadly. Someone worth remembering. Tears filled Jace's eyes. I don't want to lose you. She looked into his soul. You never will. I was sealed once, forgotten once. But love remembered me. It found me. It found me through you. He closed his eyes and leaned his forehead against hers. I don't care what happens. I'm staying with you. But she shook her head. No, not this time. A loud voice echoed from the sky above. This is High Commander Valix of the Thoughtguard. Surrender the echo carrier now, or we will burn the surface. Sarah looked toward the broken temple ceiling. They think I'll kneel. Will you? No, she said, but I'll show them mercy. She stepped toward the center of the chamber again. The glowing echo pulsed stronger, brighter, ready. Jace grabbed her hand. Don't do it alone. I won't, she whispered. I'll do it with your voice. One last time. He nodded, choking back his fear. Sarah. The echo exploded with light. Pure white energy burst from her chest, spreading through the temple, racing up the stone walls, through the ruins, into the jungle, across the cliffs, into the sky. Ships froze midair. Soldiers dropped their weapons, stunned, blinking, not in pain, but in memory. Each one heard something different. A song, a word, a name, a lost voice, a truth they had forgotten. Some fell to their knees and wept. Others stood still and whispered names long buried. One by one, the guns fell silent. But in the heart of the temple, Sura collapsed. Jace caught her again, her glow fading. "No, no, please," he whispered. Her eyes opened, dim now, but still kind. Did they remember? Jace held her tight. "Yes, I think they did." Her hand brushed his cheek. Then it was worth it. Her breath slowed. But just as Jace's heart broke, the echo pulsed again, and instead of fading, her body shimmered, transformed, not dying, but ascending, wrapped in pure memory, not gone, evolving. And then, in his head, her voice again. "I chose you, not because you opened the box, but because you opened me." The chamber fell quiet. Outside, across the galaxy, something changed. People began to remember. She chose him forever. The temple was silent now. Dust floated gently in the golden light shining down from the broken ceiling. The glow of the echo had faded into soft blue sparks, dancing like fireflies in the air. Jace Walker knelt on the cold stone floor, staring at the empty space in front of him. Sura was gone, but not truly, not completely. His hand rested over his heart. It still glowed faintly with the same light that had filled her. It pulsed, not like a machine, but like a memory that refused to fade. "You're still here," he whispered. He didn't say it out loud for comfort. He felt it. In his mind, in his soul, in the quiet stillness of everything around him. She was part of it all now. The sky outside was calm. The ships that once threatened war were gone. They had left without a single word. Something in them had changed. Jace didn't know what they saw when Sura released the echo, but it was enough to stop them. The war never came. Instead, peace did. Not through force, but through feeling. Jace stood slowly. The room around him shimmered. Glowing messages appeared on the walls, like the temple itself was now alive. "Remember who you are. Do not fear love." She chose to be more. He ran his fingers across the stone. Warmth pulsed beneath the surface. The echo was alive in the world now. Not as a weapon, but as a whisper. Soft, patient, unbreakable. He walked outside. The air felt different. Not just fresher, but cleaner, like the planet itself had taken a deep breath for the first time in centuries. Animals emerged from hiding. The jungle sang again. Birds with glowing wings soared overhead, and the silver grass bowed slightly, as if greeting an old friend. Jace reached the top of a small hill overlooking the plains. His ship had landed nearby, quiet and untouched. Captain Lyra stood beside it, arms crossed, watching the horizon. When she saw Jace, her face softened. "You made it," she said. Jace nodded. "We both did. She's everywhere now." Lyra stepped closer. The fleet just left. All of them. No shots fired. They didn't even ask questions. It was like something changed in their minds. "She changed them," Jace said, "just by letting them feel." Lyra looked around. "So what happens now?" Jace smiled faintly. "I keep the promise." She raised an eyebrow. "What promise?" He looked toward the stars. "The one my father made, and the one I made without even knowing it." Jace walked back into the jungle that day, not to run, but to build. He stayed. He turned the old temple into a sanctuary. Not for war, not for power, but for memory. Others came, people from across the galaxy, broken, lost, silenced. They heard whispers in their dreams, saw a silver-haired girl in visions, followed the feeling in their hearts. Jace welcomed each one, not as a leader, but as a keeper, the keeper of a voice that refused to be erased. Some days, he would sit at the edge of the glowing pool in the heart of the temple and feel her presence again, gentle as light. "You gave everything," he would say, and the echo would reply, not in words, but in feeling. Warmth, peace, forever. Years passed. The sanctuary grew, not into a city, but into a garden, alive, breathing, glowing with memory. And Jace, though older, though changed, never stopped waiting. Not for her return, but for those who needed to hear her voice. And sometimes, in the quiet, when stars lit the sky just right, and the wind sang through the trees, he would hear her again. "You opened the box, but you also opened me. You saw more than what I was. You saw who I could be. And that's why I chose you, forever." In a distant system, on a quiet moon, a little girl stood beside her mother, pointing to a glowing flower growing from stone. "Where did this come from, Mama?" The woman smiled and knelt beside her. "A long time ago, a girl full of light slept in a box. But when she woke up, she remembered love." "Who woke her?" "A boy who believed." "What happened to them?" The woman smiled softly. "They changed the world. Not with power, not with war, but with feeling." "Did they live happily ever after?" The woman placed a hand over her heart. "They lived forever."